Okay, I know your keys are locked in your car, but think about it this way. Watching my 18-minute video is gonna save you about 100 to 150 bucks. So basically, I'm paying you to watch it. Don't skip through my video. If you do, turn the volume down, restart it, let it play, because it kills the analytics on my channel the Clay way. Today we beg the question, can we open a car door with the brake line? Well, immediately you mechanical types are gonna think absolutely you can. And you're gonna think I'm gonna use a screwdriver, but that might damage your door. So I'm gonna show you how to get this door open and keep some of that money down in the pocket. Save yourself $150 for calling a tow truck out when you lock your keys in your door. First thing I need to point out is I discovered something while I was in the process of producing this video. I went and bought brake line to produce the video, and one place charged me over $40 and another place charged me only $12 for the same kind of brake line. Check out that video if you're interested in that. But I'm gonna tell you right now, any millionaire or any rich person is gonna tell you that you're gonna be nickeled and dimed to death before you're gonna be $1,000 to death. So keep that in mind. No matter what you're doing, know your value. In my situation, I had to drive halfway across town, which was about 30 minutes out of my way, to get the brake line for 12 bucks instead of paying $42 to O'Reilly. I went to a Parts Plus ACI here in Muskegon, got it for $12, but paid O'Reilly $40. Ridiculous, ridiculous. What is your value? My value, I would say, is about 30. I'd take 60 bucks an hour. I'm okay with that. If I could make it every hour, we might not be making YouTube videos. So my name's Clay with the Clay Way here in Muskegon, Michigan. And I believe my job here on YouTube is to inspire and empower people to do things themselves. And instill that if anybody else can do it, I promise you, you can do it too. If you've got a question for me, you can hit me up on Clay's AC and Auto Repair on the Facebook Messenger. I can't help you with that old baby mama drama, but I may be able to help you fix that whip. If you dig what I'm doing here, at nighttime, put on one of my sweet Clay Way playlists like Tips and Tricks. Turn that old volume down and let them suckers play all the time. Hey, we greatly appreciate it. Pretty soon we're going to be living in a van down by the river with this girl, which she don't absolutely mind at all. But we're going to show you how to do this brake line door and get this thing out. I'm going to show you what the steps I did to get this done. Now, I know this isn't super practical for your keys being locked in your car, but we're going to travel to the Home Depot and we're going to find a little product that they sell here, because you're probably going to be able to use this in the future, if not on your car, but on your buddy's car as well. So this was in Bay 12 at my Home Depot, and this is going to allow us to open the door without damaging it. This is called an air shim, and it's sold at most any hardware store. I just chose Home Depot because I knew where it was at. You can get one of these at any hardware store across the nation. These are used by contractors to level off windows and framework and stuff like that, but we can use it in several other automotive applications as well. So you can go out and you can buy kits that will allow you to open the door, but they're about $80 to $100, and who knows with Build Back Bonkers right now how much these thinking things cost. But I've had these for a number of years, and how they work is they put this right inside the door jamb. You'll use something to pry the door jamb open a little bit carefully, and usually come with the nylon wedge. Then you just pump this up, and this separates the door jamb. Then obviously you can get this rod inside there, and you can put this rod down inside there and unlock the door. They usually have curled edges on the end. This one's broken, and this metal is fairly malleable, so you can take it and you can bend it and it don't snap. So you can pretty much put it into any kind of orientation that you need. Now right here on the floor, I've got some 1/4 inch brake line. I've also got some 3/16 inch brake line, but I think I'm going to use the 1/4 inch brake line, which is 60 inches long. Maybe even could get 72 inches. I bought a couple different pieces because I wanted to make sure that I had the right size and I didn't want to damage the door. So at first I thought, well, I'll go down and buy a bunch of coat hangers, but I went to Walmart, Home Depot, Myers, went to a number of stores, could not find any metal coat hangers. And a coat hanger by itself is not strong enough. But if we took 4 or 5 coat hangers and we put them in a vise and undid them and made them straight, we could use a drill to put them together as several pieces to make something that would be movable and malleable at the same time, but more than likely would probably be too short, because I think we need at least 60 inches to be able to get down inside the door jamb. So going and picking up a $2.50 or $3 piece of brake line, aluminum, 1/4 inch, 60 inches long, or possibly even 72 inches long would work out really well. Then we needed just a couple of extra things around the house that most of us should have. Now we need something to pry the door open a little bit. We don't want to pry so much that we bend it. And we also don't want to damage the surfaces on here. That's going to be much cheaper than smashing out a window and trying to get into our car to get the keys that are locked in there. So some of the different stuff you could use is a really heavy duty screwdriver, or even a pair of pliers that work like this. Yeah, this is not the time for us to start smoking crack or doing meth. This is so in case we have to burn the thing down because we get so frustrated and we don't want to smash a window. We might as well set it on fire. Probably not going to need that today. The next thing that we're going to need, and this is what makes it not damage your automobile, next to the rags that you put in place of the screwdrivers or etc. to get it pried open, to insert this. Go down to the Home Depot. We can pick one of these up for about 18 bucks. And that sure beats burning the car down to the ground or calling someone and spending $100 to $150 to get the door unlocked. So here we go. And living the dream of a van down by the river, where they don't have technology. Sorry. Oh, I almost forgot to, while you're down there at the Home Depot, you can pick up this. It's not going to be really handy for this job, but it sure is handy for another one. Smack that ass for me. Smack that ass for me. I smack that one at a time. All right, on with the video. Let's stop with these shenanigans. All right, we're going to get serious now. Now, if you're unlocking a vehicle that has one of the pull-up striker locks in it and the battery doesn't have any power, you're going to need a little bit of rope, and I'm going to show you how to make a slip knot. You're also going to need a little bit of wire, and you can pick this up down at the Home Depot, or in this situation, you could use fishing string possibly, because we're going to use the wire to control where we put it on the lock and how we get it down there. But you'll have to use some kind of wire or a clothes hanger for that, which I know you can't buy. So now, if you want to make it look pretty similar to that one right there, some line bending tools will be helpful as well. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is I want to bend the line correctly, preferably. Don't remember how to do this. Let me do this. Shit, this dumbass can't even bend the line. How's he even going to show us how to open a door with the brake line when he can't even bend the frickin' brake line? I want it to have an L in it so I can reach down and pull the door handle or hit the electric lock mechanism when necessary. Now I may bend a handle down here on the end too. So to bend my handle, because I'm going to need that to be able to turn it, I'm going to have a little bit more sticking out so I have a longer area to grab onto, and that'll allow me to turn the pipe. Now, a lot of times it's really helpful to have somebody look through the windshield and direct you where to go with your brake line as you're moving it and trying to put it into place and unlock the door. In this situation, this created a complication because this Jeep Liberty has a pull-up striker lock, which means we need to pull up on it. So I'm going to have to show you how to make a tool to do that too. So we've got our air shim, we've got a pry bar, we've got a screwdriver, things. This vehicle is locked, and it's a Jeep Liberty. So, well, I thought it was locked. Will be now, which is going to be a problem on this Jeep Liberty. This really wouldn't be a problem if this Jeep Liberty had a battery in it and had power, but what about if the battery was dead? If it was dead, we need to create another solution. Now, this is going to be an extremely large challenge because this Jeep Liberty has a pull-up knob. We're going to still try to do it anyways. I have other vehicles I can show you on, but because I think this one's the most challenging of all, you could pretty much guess that you reach down and you push the unlock button if it had power. This does not have power, so that's going to make it difficult, but I think I have a way of doing it. So the first thing I did was I took and I pressed my cloth down inside there so I could pry my door open. And as I pry it open, I'm not damaging the surface of the paint or anything, and I'm going to stick my air shim inside there. So I have the door pried open just a little bit, and I want to work my air shim up and down and get it inside there between the door jamb. Like that. Now we can see the door jamb start to separate. There's not enough space for us to get our bar inside there, so we need to get it a little bit more. Now you take your screwdriver and you reinsert it into here. Make sure you're not damaging your seal on your door when you do that. And then you can hold it out and let your air out of your air shim. Then you can lower it down to get the gap greater. Move your screwdriver. I thought at the time I was going to be able to take my tool and insert it inside the door, reach down and wedge it up against the striker post and pull it up, but I was unsuccessful. Stick it down on your lock. I tried this several times, and not one single time did this frickin' work, so I had to come up with another possible solution for this situation, which is pretty neat.
But I'm not so easier.
I didn't say nothing about easier.
This is futile.
Yeah,
But now I gotta figure out how to... Okay, since I didn't expect this Jeep Liberty was gonna be a challenge, I'm gonna show you how to make a slip knot, and we're gonna use a little bit of rope to get this thing unlocked, I think, fairly easily. Okay, so now I'm gonna take some of my wire. This is gonna allow me to attach it to my knot and slip it over the top of my lock, and I'm gonna tie a slip knot. I'm gonna show you how to do that. Okay, so all you do is you take your rope, place it over your two fingers like this, pull it back, go behind it, then over it, and you hold this portion right here. Then you reach up and you grab this longer piece right here and you pull it through there. Now you're gonna pull your shorter piece closer, and when you have it like this, you'll be able to pull this area and connect it to the end of your brake line. Now what you want to do is you want to connect your longer portion, which is the slip portion that makes your loop smaller, to your brake line, and you can just quite simply just tie a knot in that. We'll leave it 2 or 3 inches away from there. Pull that tight, then make an extra one just to make it just right. These do not have to be slip knots. That can just be a knot, because you want this to be able to pull up against your lock. And as you pull it, you should be able to pull it tight and then grab onto that lock. Now, you're gonna need to be able to get this down inside the door and on there. So now we take our piece of wire and we slide it underneath the loop so we can control the loop when we go to put it on the lock. Once we've got it in there, we can just quite simply bend it over and make sure that our slip knot actually still works properly and we're able to control it and put it down on our lock. Now, because of my knots, I had to open my door just a little bit further to get the knots and the wires and the rod down inside the door. Now at this time, I'm questioning if I should have used the clothes hanger to put my loop on the lock, but we'll see if I can actually get it on there by fishing it around. Well, I was messing around with this for about 30 to 45 seconds, and eventually I get the thing over there. Then I push my wire down and I'm able to do that. Then using the handle at the end of my rod, I'm pulling and pulling and my slip knot won't close up. Oh my gosh, I don't know if this is gonna work. So then I had an idea to just start twisting it. Bam, bitches! Okay, now something important. I know you're gonna be excited about getting this door open, but you need to make sure that you remove your wedge or deflate it before you open your door, because what it will do is it will spring this door right here. and we don't want it to be sprung, so we would rather the door seal up properly. Bamzola! Got him! Okay, so here we have a Ford Edge, which should be a little bit simpler than the last one that I did, which was a Jeep Liberty. We want to look at where our mechanisms are. Where is our switch at? If we don't have power, where is our mechanical switch at to unlock the door? Now on Fords, you pull the door handle and it unlocks the door. So it doesn't have a mechanical switch for the Ford, but it does have a power switch, and we could reach down with our tool and hit that power switch. We would just have to bend the tool to the way that it's necessary to get down to the power switch. Okay, so here is our power switch. Instances, it's going to be easier just to pull the handle than it's going to be to hit the switch, but it is possible to hit that switch to unlock it. So we'll lock it up and we'll unlock it.
Look, as he's teaching you guys how to get in a car after you've locked your key in, he locked the key and the tools we need inside the car.
First, we want to get our door open a little bit so we can get our shim in there. You gotta work that thing, work that thing, work that thing, work that thing, work that. We'll get that in there. It's pushing on the seal. That's okay. Now we'll let that down. Make sure our bag is tight, so when we pump it, oh, I feel like this should be a Reebok commercial from the 80s. Get the pump, you can swing like Mike.
Isn't that Nike?
No, Reebok had the pump.
I never
Pump
liked
that
Reebok.
sucker up. Take your hook end. Hopefully put it down inside the door. Once you get past the seal. You may have to bend this a little bit so your angle will come around and grab the door handle.
Oh, keep going, coming up.
Oh,
Keep coming up a little.
I need to get some more bend on it.
You're on the door handle.
You go in the door handle, pull backwards. I hope this freaking works.
There you, oh, you almost had it.
Of course, I'm an idiot. I didn't look down and notice it was unlocked, and then she tells me.
It's unlocked.
Now, your first thing to do instinctively is going to be to grab this door handle and unlock it. But what you want to really do is you want to pull your bar out of here so you do not have your door jamb popped out like this and have to bend it back down. So we're going to remove our bar. We're going to let the air out of our bag. Then we'll open the door once it's unlocked. And voila! Now, hopefully you have the knowledge and a great tool to be able to help your friends and family out whenever they lock their keys in their car, or at least share this video with them and tell them how to do it themselves. I greatly appreciate you viewing, and we appreciate you down here at the Clayway. We try to inspire and empower people to do things themselves, just like you. And if anyone else can do it, I promise you, you can too. If you've got a question for me, look me up on Clay's AC and Auto Repair on the Facebook Messenger. I answer them for everyone that I possibly can. I try to help everyone I possibly can when I have time, and I know there's a day that I'll not be able to answer every question I get because it's getting kind of tough now, to be honest with you. God bless, folks. Don't be the next of them. Be the first of you, and if anyone else can do it, I promise you, you can do it too.